Wait.
Welcome home, John.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 video game moments that made men cry. For this list, we'll be looking at extremely sad and emotional moments in video games that were so powerful that they may have caused even the most stoic of men to shed a tear or two. Which game made you cry the most? Let us know in the comments down below.
Hey Mojoholics! For a chance to win cash prizes, play our live daily trivia challenges every day at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern only at WatchMojo.com/play.
Number 20, Brok's death, God of War Ragnarok.
That's it precisely.
Hey! Not so fast. How'd that get in here?
The brotherly bond between Brok and Sindri is not only one of the best in video games, but in all of media. Despite their differences at times, the two truly care for each other. When Brok starts to become suspicious of Tyr, the Norse god fatally stabs him in the chest and reveals himself to be actually Odin. After the All-Father makes a quick getaway, Brok dies in Sindri's arms, but not before telling him he forgives him for what he's done in the past.
I know what you've done, and I forgive you.
If that wasn't enough for you, the funeral scene after the game's ending really hammers home what a great loss this is for poor Sindri.
I love you.
Number 19, The End of Zero, Mega Man 04. Zero did not have an easy life. While we had seen him temporarily destroyed in the X franchise, this time things were permanent. The evil scientist Dr. Wily has the maniacal plan of crashing the station known as Ragnarok into one of the final human settlements left on Earth. Zero, knowing this is a one-way trip, still decides to go to battle with Wile and disrupt his scheme. By the time things settle and the humans are saved, we're expecting Zero to make a last-minute miraculous return. Only he doesn't. CL, who also held that hope, falls to her knees in anguish, realizing that this story does not have a happy ending. That closing shot of Zero's shattered helmet is still burned into our minds to this day. Number 18, TIDUS disappears, Final Fantasy X.
No. Yuna, I have to go.
In Final Fantasy X, the monstrosity known as Sin has been the bane of everyone's existence for a very long time. As it turns out, TIDUS had been summoned into existence by the Faith in order to defeat Sin. After the gang finally defeats the gargantuan beast, TIDUS begins to fade away, with Yuna passing right through him. The two share one final moment together, with TIDUS embracing her before he leaves to the other side. Number 16, Midna's Goodbye, The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. After everything we've been through with everyone's favorite imp, it was incredibly sad to see Midna go. Following the defeat of Ganondorf and Zant, Midna's true form is revealed, and with that, she must return to the Twilight Realm.
Word Alpha. Where's word?
After saying her goodbyes to Link and Zelda, Midna sheds a single tear. which she uses to break the mirror right before leaving through the gate. It's a deeply touching scene and a farewell to one of the most popular characters in the franchise. Number 16. Edward sees his friends one final time. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag.
Captain Woods Rogers survived his wounds. He has since returned to England, shamed and in great debt, but no less a threat.
I will finish that job when I return. You have my word.
Throughout the story of Assassin's Creed 4, a lot of Edward's comrades meet their end, whether it's by his own hands or another. In the game's conclusion, while waiting for his daughter's arrival, Anne Bonny sings a wonderful rendition of The Parting Glass.
Of all the money that I have.
It's at this very moment Edward sees visions of his long departed friends sitting all together at a table and having a good time.
And all I've done for want of a wit to memory now.
The moment itself is very brief, but we'd be lying if it didn't hit us like a brick and brought instant tears to our eyes. Number 15. Aunt May's death, Marvel's Spider-Man.
It's still viable. We'll need the entire sample as a base to produce more doses.
How long will that take?
A few hours, maybe a day.
Anyone who's taken in any form of Spidey media knows that Aunt May is one of the most important people in Peter Parker's life. So not only was it incredibly shocking to see this scene unfold, but also downright heartbreaking. After being infected by the Devil's Breath, Peter discovers that the virus has progressed too far for her to be saved.
I've got the cure right here.
Take off your mask. I want to see my nephew.
In her final moments, Aunt May reveals to Peter that she knows he's Spider-Man, and she's proud of him. Seeing Peter in anguish as her monitor flatlines is a moment we'll never forget. Number 14, Lone Wolf, Halo Reach.
This is the Pillar of Autumn. We're away. The package is with us.
We're not gonna lie. There are so many sad moments in Halo Reach that you could probably make its own top 10. For this list, however, we're going to focus on its incredible finale. In order to allow the Pillar of Autumn to escape the planet Reach, which is housing Master Chief by the way, Noble Six stays behind to fend off the Covenant. After going through the credits, you're giving but one objective: survive. After making a valiant effort against the never-ending Covenant, Noble Six's story comes to an end. But you are told that their sacrifice brought forth the events that led to humanity's victory. Ouch.
Our victory, your victory, was so close. I wish you could have lived to see it.
Number 13. Arthur Morgan succumbs to his illness. Red Dead Redemption 2. Early in the game, Arthur contracts tuberculosis after beating up Thomas Downs, and as the story goes on, his symptoms get worse and worse. We would be remiss not to mention the scene where Arthur tells his sister he's afraid of dying, as it certainly brought us to tears.
I'm afraid.
The finale, however, hits even harder, as Arthur is trying his best to sort out all the drama that is unfolding with his gang. After helping John Marston get away, Arthur finally succumbs to his illness and passes away peacefully as he watches a beautiful sunrise. Number 12, the protagonist's death, Persona 3.
Senpai, we made a promise. Let's find him, and Aigis too.
After spending almost a whole year at Gekukan High School, this isn't how we expected it to end. In order to prevent the return of Nyx, the protagonists sacrificed themselves in order to seal it away. However, in order to fulfill a promise to his friends, he retains his consciousness long enough to make it to graduation day. With his life slowly fading away, the protagonist spends his final moments on the lap of AGRO'S as all of his friends run to be by his side.
You're right. What am I doing?
If this moment somehow didn't bring tears to your eyes, we guarantee the ending credits song certainly did. Number 11, ZACK'S death, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII.
Boy, oh boy.
While Aerith's death in the original Final Fantasy VII hit us hard, the finale of its prequel Crisis Core hit that much harder. On the run with an injured Cloud, the Shinra soldiers finally catch up with Zack just outside of Midgar. From there, Zack must defend himself from a never-ending horde of enemies as the system breaks down. The battle eventually becomes too much for Zack, with his final vision being of Aerith as he is executed. Many of us already knew this was coming after playing the first game, but Square Enix were able to take this incredibly sad moment to the next level.
My dreams. They're yours now.
Number 10, Lee and Clem say goodbye. The Walking Dead.
My parents. It's so horrible.
I can't imagine, sweet pea.
And now, you?
It's a fine day for video games when you realize that Telltale's story was arguably better than both the show and the comics. Score one for video game writing. The Walking Dead was chock full of sad scenes, but nothing tops the sheer power of Lee's death from episode 5. In this scene, Lee is succumbing to his bite, and you must make the decision to have Clementine leave him to die or shoot him and end his suffering. No matter the decision, the ending is a real downer. But isn't that what The Walking Dead is all about? We don't think we ever cried this much over a character from the TV show. Maybe Glenn, but that's it. Number 9, Eli's brain is sucked out. Half-Life 2, Episode 2.
I just wish all this didn't have to fall on you, Alex. Your mother would be so proud.
Dad.
Is there anything that Half-Life 2 didn't get right? If it wasn't too busy redefining the modern FPS, then it was giving us intensely powerful and emotional moments such as this. In this scene, Gordon, Eli, and Alex are attempting to board a helicopter when a pair of adversaries stick a wrench in their plan. They restrain Eli and suck out his brain right in front of his daughter, leaving her to cradle her father's body before the credits roll. And that's how Half-Life 2 left us.
Don't leave me.
Number 8, AGRO'S supposed death. Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus contains what is probably the saddest animal death scene in any video game, even though she doesn't really die. AGRO serves as your faithful companion through the entire game, but that is all appended right before battling the 16th Colossus. The bridge AGRO and Wander are riding on begins to collapse, and in a last-ditch effort to save Wander, AGRO pitches him off to safety while she falls to her supposed death. This was a massive heartache for any first-time player, and even though we know she survives, it's still an extremely unsettling and emotional moment to witness. Damn pets and their unflinching loyalty. Number 7, Dom finds Maria, Gears of War 2.
Maria.
Who knew a story about cartoonishly sized macho men with chainsaw guns could be so damn emotional? After searching far and wide for his wife Maria, Dom finds her in a locust prisoner cage. and everything seems fine and dandy as they tearfully reunite. But then Marcus snaps Dom out of it, and we find that Maria is actually a disheveled, non-communicative, and vegetative version of her former self. Dom then decides to euthanize Maria to put her out of her misery. It's a gut-wrenching and hopeless scene made all the worse by Marcus's brief look of sadness. If he's affected, imagine how the rest of us felt. Number 6, Soap's death. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
You think I'll be in the second floor?
Say what you will about the Call of Duty series, but there's no denying that they can tell a damn good story when they want to. In the climatic installment of the Modern Warfare series, Soap McTavish finally bites it in Prague. We watch as the otherwise extremely badass and battle-hardened John Price tries desperately to save his friend, complete with anguished screams before Soap finally succumbs to his injuries. Soap and Price made a fantastic team throughout the series, and to see it end like this was a massive kick in the gut. We knew someone had to die, but it was still hard to handle.
I'm sorry.
Number 5, Chief lets Cortana go, Halo 4.
I'm not coming with you this time.
What?
Most of me is down there. I only held enough back to get you off the ship.
The Halo franchise is home to some very emotional moments, but this one perhaps stands out above the rest. Cortana was in a bad state for much of the game, which was difficult to witness in and of itself. But the real kicker comes when she sacrifices herself and the longtime partners must say goodbye.
Cortana, please.
We witness the otherwise stoic and emotionalist Master Chief break down as he's forced to say goodbye, complete with constant protest and a voice crack. Master Chief's freaking voice is cracking from the emotion. One voice crack from him is equal to about 10 man tears from anyone else. Goodbyes are never easy, even for John.
Wait.
Welcome home, John.
Number 4, Sarah's death, The Last of Us.
We're safe. We're safe. Hey, we need help. Stop, please.
Now, that's how you open your game, with an emotional wallop. The beginning of this game sees Sarah, Joel, and Tommy attempting to escape from their hometown after a fungus turns people into ravenous beasts. After escaping the chaos, a soldier reluctantly shoots Sarah, and despite Joel's tearful protest, she dies in his arms. Losing a child is an indescribable pain, and Troy Baker's stellar performance throughout her death horrifically captures Joel's agony and sorrow. The Last of Us is not your typical good time zombie romp, and this opening scene lets you know it is brutal stuff.
No.
Number 3, John Marston's Last Stand, Red Dead Redemption.
Door's locked and your mother inside. Promise me, son. Promise me.
Who is it, Pa?
It's just some old friends. Me and Uncle take care of it.
Westerns have always found a way to produce the odd man tier, and Red Dead Redemption is no exception. After spending the whole game trying to find his redemption, John Marston finally enjoyed a happy, if hardworking home life with his wife and son. However, the government comes a-calling one last time, and Marston tearfully sends his family off to safety. He then goes out and takes out as many officials as he can before getting a body full of bullets. His family then discovers his bloodied corpse. Bury Me Not on the Lone Prairie plays during his funeral, and we all devolve into weeping messes.
Where the coyotes wail and the wind blows free.
Number 2, The Salute, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater.
Snake, listen to me. She didn't betray the United States. No. Far from it. She was a hero who died for her country.
Snake Eater's ending is now the thing of video game legend, and for good reason. You are forced to pull the trigger on the boss and put a bullet in her heart. And in the ending sequence, Snake visits Arlington National Cemetery to pay his respects. He places lilies and a weapon on the grave and salutes her patriotism, shedding a single tear in the process. Admit it, while he was shedding a man tear, you were shedding buckets. The image of Snake saluting the grave is now iconic in the world of video gaming, and it's one of the most notable examples of emotional storytelling in the medium.
She was a true patriot.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Mordin's Death, Mass Effect 3.
Mort, no! Shepard, please. Need to do this. My project, my work, my cure. My responsibility. Would have liked to see how it ends. I'm sure you'll do fine without me.
Disappointing ending aside, Mass Effect 3's death scenes were pure magic. Mordin's death is a prime example of how to create an emotional send-off for a character. It contains the emotional climax of a well-developed and complete character arc, made even better by gorgeous score and visuals. The scene contains some hauntingly sad lines, and Mordin singing to himself as a form of comfort paints him as both a sad and heroic figure. It really is just a hodgepodge of emotions. There are many ways in which the Mordin situation can unfold, but when it all comes together like this, it creates one of the most devastating and emotional moments in gaming.
Librarian, I am the very model.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.